Good morning, everyone. I'd first like to acknowledge that I'm addressing you from the unceded, unsurrendered territory of the Anishinaabe Algonquin Nation, whose presence here reaches back to time immemorial. We honor the people and the land of the Anishinaabe Algonquin Nation. I'm joined here today by Yavar Hamid, Ottawa-based human rights lawyer, Sam Hirsch, with Independent Jewish Voices, and my lawyer, Alexi Wood, partner at St. Lawrence Barristers, PC. My name is Birgit Itani. I am a human rights professional with a long history of fighting for justice for the most marginalized. From 2020 to 2023, I was the director of the Yukon Human Rights Commission, and before that, I spent 3 years as the assistant regional director of the Alberta Human Rights Commission. Towards the end of May 2022, a senior official with Justice Canada sought me out and invited me to apply for the role of Chief Commissioner of the Canadian Human Rights Commission. In June 2024, after a lengthy and rigorous application and vetting process spanning nearly 2 years and glowing recommendations from my previous employers, I was appointed Chief Commissioner of the Canadian Human Rights Commission by the Governor-General on the recommendation of the Justice Minister. I was set to begin my role on August 8th, 2024, and would become the first person of color and the first Muslim to hold this prestigious position. I felt honored, humbled, and excited for the opportunity and the prospect of bringing real and meaningful changes to the Commission at a critical moment, while also advocating for Canadians, particularly those from marginalized backgrounds who face discrimination. On August 12, 2024, 4 days after my role was set to begin, I announced my resignation as Chief Commissioner. Shortly after my appointment was announced in June, I became the subject of a vicious smear campaign, painting me as a terrorist supporter and an anti-Semite. These comments led to a third-party investigation. Ultimately, the investigators released a report that found the allegations of anti-Semitism, bias against Jewish people or Israelis, and terrorism support and/or sympathy to be unfounded. Despite the report's unequivocal conclusion on these points, the vicious public attacks by a number of groups and individuals persisted in the following days and weeks. That's why I'm here today, to announce that I've launched defamation lawsuits against those who spearheaded a targeted attack against me this past summer. Conservative Member of Parliament Melissa Lantsman.
Speaker, I am a strong Jewish woman and a member of this House and a descendant of Holocaust survivors, and I have never it's never been singled out, and I have never been made to feel less.
Right-wing media personality Ezra Levant.
Very weird that a group wants to shout down a Jewish speaker talking about Jewish issues on campus. That's echoes of the brown shirts in the 1930s. It's very un-Canadian.
And the Center for Israel and Jewish Affairs, CJA. If I may direct your attention to the monitor, on the same day the report came out, the Deputy Leader of the Conservatives, Member of Parliament Melissa Lantsman, reacted by posting, "Anti-Semites should hold no position in Canada's government." This tweet was viewed over 44,000 times. It was retweeted more than 700 times and liked more than 2,500 times. It was also quoted in an article by the CBC. In October, 2 months after the report was published, Ezra Levant called me a, quote, Islamic extremist who praised terrorism as a tactic against Jews, end quote. This tweet was viewed almost 46,000 times and liked 1,300 times. These aren't even the worst things that have been said about me over the last 8 months. The statements of claim are now public. They list many more examples of the defamatory statements that were shared far and wide. I cannot sufficiently underscore the impact that this vicious campaign has had on me over the past few months. It has caused serious and potentially irreparable damage to my reputation. It has impacted my mental and physical health. It has also affected my family and loved ones. I'm taking this step today to reclaim my reputation and to seek accountability for the damage that has been done to me and those closest to me. Most importantly, my story represents an episode in a wider phenomenon of hateful attacks, which have done tremendous damage to many people across this country: medical professionals, educators, academics, and journalists. Parenthetically, often from marginalized and racialized backgrounds, have borne the brunt of a campaign of defamation, bullying, intimidation, and silencing, which has cost many their livelihoods. This trend often starts with allegations, which then lead to doxing, bullying, pressure campaigns on employers, then investigations. On many occasions, perhaps even in most cases, these investigations find the allegations to be baseless. But the damage is already done. Too often, these baseless allegations are accompanied by bigoted, Islamophobic, anti-Palestinian, or anti-Arab tropes, such as being terrorist sympathizers, harboring religiously extremist views, and holding quote-unquote un-Canadian values. It is dangerous to assert that academic research, being critical of a government, attending protests, and simply having a Muslim name are reasons for suspicion. That is un-Canadian. It is expensive to litigate, and I'm crowdsourcing funds to help pay for this legal process. I want to take this opportunity to thank the many people who have supported me during these difficult times. They represent a large swathe of the Canadian population and are from many backgrounds and faith traditions. I particularly wish to thank the members of the Jewish and Israeli communities who have supported and defended me these past few months. To be clear, anti-Semitism is real, full stop. It is dangerous, insidious, and pervasive, and has increased significantly in Canada since October 7th, 2023. As a human rights advocate, I will continue to fight against anti-Semitism. I will also continue to fight against Islamophobia and anti-Palestinian racism, which have also increased. And I will continue to fight against all forms of hate and bigotry. That is my job. I'm here today to send a message. Those who use their platforms and positions to spew hate and misinformation must face accountability for their actions, which have real consequences. These dangerous actions cannot go without recourse. Every one of us has an inherent right to live free from discrimination. We also have a right to defend ourselves when faced with allegations like the ones that are the subject of this litigation. Thank you.